are not wounded by criticism, you are exposed by it. If a single sentence can disturb your sleep, steal your focus, or make you rehearse imaginary arguments in your mind, then the problem is not the voice outside you. It is the instability within you. You say you want strength, yet you measure your worth by the approval of people who do not govern your life, do not carry your responsibilities, and will not bear the consequences of your choices. I ruled an empire. Armies depended on my decisions. Cities survived or fell by my judgment. Do you believe I was praised by all? Do you imagine power protects a man from criticism? The higher you stand, the more voices rise against you. If I had allowed every opinion to enter my mind as truth, Rome would have collapsed under my hesitation. You fear being judged. I feared failing my duty. There is a difference. You think criticism threatens your identity. In truth, it reveals how fragile your identity is. If your sense of self can be shaken by words, then it was never anchored in character. It was anchored in reputation. And reputation lives in the minds of others, not in your own discipline. Listen carefully. The world will not stop speaking. People will misunderstand you, question you, diminish you, and project their fears onto you. If you wait for silence before you find peace, you will wait forever. Strength is not built in comfort. It is built when your ego is challenged and you refuse to let it rule you. What you call offense is often your pride demanding protection. What you call injustice is sometimes your insecurity exposed. You want to be unshaken, then stop negotiating with every opinion. Stop explaining yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Stop seeking reassurance from those who have never mastered themselves. The mind that depends on applause becomes a slave to criticism. The mind that depends on principle becomes unbreakable. In the next lesson, you will confront the first truth that separates those who are ruled by criticism from those who rise above it. Most people are not hurt by criticism. They are hurt because they confuse ego with character. When someone questions you, what exactly feels attacked? Your values or your image? Your principles or your pride? If a comment shakes you, examine what is trembling. True character does not panic. Ego does. Ego wants to be seen as intelligent, respected, admired. It feeds on recognition and starves in silence. That is why criticism feels like deprivation. It threatens the illusion you built about yourself. And when that illusion cracks, you rush to defend it. I learned that the more a man defends his image, the weaker his inner structure becomes. A stable mind does not collapse because someone disapproves. It evaluates, it filters, it keeps what improves it and discards what is poison. You must separate correction from insult. One refines you, the other tests you. If the criticism is true, then it is a gift disguised as discomfort. Use it to sharpen your discipline. If it is false, then it reveals more about the speaker than about you. Why would you carry a burden that does not belong to you? Pause before reacting. Ask yourself, is this attacking my virtue or only my vanity? If it attacks your virtue and it is accurate, adjust your conduct. If it attacks your vanity, let it starve. A man governed by ego reacts instantly. A man governed by principle responds only when necessary. You say you want to be immune to criticism. Then stop protecting illusions. Strengthen your character instead of polishing your image. When your identity is rooted in discipline, words lose their power. The next lesson will challenge something even deeper. Not what others say about you, but why you feel compelled to answer. You feel compelled to respond because you believe silence is weakness. That belief controls you more than any critic ever could. When someone challenges you, your first instinct is to defend, explain, justify. You think that if you do not answer, you lose. But lose what? Control, respect, or the illusion that you must be understood by everyone? Understand this. Not every accusation deserves your energy. Not every misunderstanding requires correction. Some battles exist only to drain you. There is a discipline in restraint. Silence is not surrender when it is chosen from strength. It is sovereignty. Ask yourself why you rush to speak. Is it to clarify truth or to soothe your discomfort? Many reactions are not acts of courage. They are attempts to escape the unease of being misjudged. If you know your intentions are aligned with your principles, then another person's distortion cannot alter your reality. Their perception belongs to them. Your conduct belongs to you. When you respond to every criticism, you train others to control your focus. They learn that a few words are enough to move you. That is power you are handing away freely. The disciplined mind selects its engagements carefully. It does not enter every argument. It does not compete for approval. It does not exhaust itself defending a reputation that is not in its control. There is a question you must confront. Are you answering because it is necessary or because your ego demands relief? When you master the ability to remain silent without feeling diminished, you break one of the strongest chains that binds you to public opinion. In the next lesson, you will see how criticism often reveals more about the one who speaks than the one who listens. You assume criticism is an accurate evaluation of you. Often, it is a confession about the one who speaks. People rarely see you as you are. They see you through their fears, ambitions, frustrations, and insecurities. When they criticize, they are frequently projecting their internal conflicts outward. You become the surface upon which they unload what they have not resolved within themselves. If a man feels inferior, he will accuse you of arrogance. If he lacks discipline, he will call you obsessive. If he envies your progress, he will question your motives. In each case, the criticism reveals more about his condition than your character. This is not an invitation to arrogance. It is an invitation to clarity. When you understand projection, you stop absorbing what was never yours. You stop internalizing distortions that originate in someone else's struggle. You observe instead of reacting. Ask yourself, does this criticism reflect a consistent flaw in my conduct, or is it a reflection of the speaker's perspective shaped by their own limitations? If multiple wise and disciplined individuals point to the same weakness, examine yourself. If only the insecure and resentful speak, consider the source. You do not need to carry every opinion into your self-concept. Discernment is strength. The untrained mind personalizes everything. The disciplined mind evaluates patterns. It separates signal from noise. It recognizes that not every negative statement is a verdict. When you understand that many attacks are projections, something changes. You no longer feel hunted. You feel observant, detached, not cold, stable, not defensive. In the next lesson, you will confront the final principle that determines whether criticism controls you or refines you. There is one final truth you must accept if you truly want to be immune to criticism. Your peace is more valuable than your need to be right. Many conflicts persist because you cannot tolerate being misunderstood. You argue, explain, defend, not because truth is at risk, but because your pride is uncomfortable. You believe that if you do not correct every false impression, you lose dignity. In reality, you lose serenity. Not every false narrative must be dismantled. Not every accusation requires a counter-argument. Sometimes the highest form of strength is allowing others to remain wrong about you. This is not weakness, it is prioritization. Ask yourself what you gain from winning an argument: temporary satisfaction, a brief sense of superiority. Now ask what you lose: time, focus, emotional stability, the respect of those who observe your composure under pressure. When you anchor your identity in virtue rather than perception, your behavior becomes consistent regardless of applause or condemnation. You act according to principle, not reaction. You do what is just, not what is impressive. If someone criticizes you unjustly and you remain steady, you demonstrate power. If someone criticizes you justly and you correct yourself, you demonstrate wisdom. In both cases, you win, because you are guided by character, not ego. Understand this clearly. The world will continue to judge. Opinions will multiply. Voices will rise and fall. But your inner governance is yours alone. If you cultivate discipline, self-awareness, and restraint, criticism becomes information, not injury. It becomes a tool, not a threat. Immunity is not the absence of noise. It is the presence of inner order. Choose order within, and no voice outside will rule you. You say you want strength, but do you truly want it, or do you only want the image of it? Strength demands solitude at times. It demands being misunderstood without rushing to correct the misunderstanding. It demands that you tolerate silence where applause once existed. Most people do not want that. They want validation disguised as virtue. Examine yourself honestly. When you improve, do you feel peace, or do you immediately look around to see who noticed? When you endure criticism calmly, do you feel grounded, or do you feel frustrated that no one acknowledged your restraint? Many claim they seek inner power, yet they constantly check the outside world for confirmation. That is not strength. That is dependence, wearing the mask of discipline. If approval fuels you, disapproval will break you. The same source that lifts you will control you. You cannot build stability on shifting opinions. To be strong is to accept that some will dislike you, misinterpret you, and even resent you for your clarity. To be strong is to act according to principle even when it isolates you. To be strong is to prefer integrity over popularity. Ask yourself now, without excuses, if the world stopped applauding you, would you continue your path with the same conviction? If no one defended you, would you still defend your values? You cannot serve two masters. You cannot worship approval and command your own mind at the same time. Choose carefully. One path leads to endless reaction, constant explanation, emotional exhaustion. The other leads to quiet authority, steady focus, and freedom from the noise of opinion. The world does not decide your worth. Your conduct does. If you choose strength, accept its cost. If you choose approval, accept its chains. The decision is yours.